皆さん、こんにちは。オタク親父だ。お元気ですか? Hello everyone, this is Otaku Oyaji again. Well, good news. The couplers which I ordered for my Greenmax BEC Dencha has finally come in. And so today I'm going to install those couplers. But before I do that, I need to give thanks where it's due. Where I learned how to change the couplers was from this Japanese train modeler called Miyako Mokei. And I will be including his link in the description down below, so do check it out. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. The couplers that we are changing would be the Greenmax dummy coupler into the Tomix TN coupler for front cars or Santoshas, as well as the Greenmax Arnold coupler into the Kato coupler. To effect the coupler change, these are the components that I will need. Well, there's actually quite a bit here, so let's start. First, Kato couplers, part number 11-704. Tomix TN couplers for the front cars, JC6339. These are spectacle screws. I'll be using the 1.4 mm diameter and 2 mm depth screws. If you can get shorter screws, that's even better, but it is what it is. Okay. Jeweler's screwdriver, I'm using a Phillips head. Pin vices, I'm using 2 of them so I don't need to switch the drills. Okay, drills, I'm using from diameters ranging from 0.5 mm to all the way until 1.4 or 1.3 mm, so the screws will fit in. Okay, I'm gonna do some serious cutting, so I'm using my God hand nippers. Other than that, it's my standard Olfa knife, Tamiya tweezer, and of course the Tamiya tin cement. I'll start with the easier Kato couplers. First, I cut off parts of a pair. Okay, mash them together like so, and then press down all the way until you hear a satisfying click. And that's it, Kato coupler assembled. Now I remove the bogie that faces the intercar side by gently twisting it in one direction. Taking hold of the Arnold coupler, I press down and I gently turn until it pops loose. And then I lift it out, taking care not to let the spring come out. Okay, this is the Kato coupler. The connection point is on top and the hook is at the bottom side. So what I intend to do is to insert it sideways and then twist it until it locks. So to do that, I'll take my hobby knife and I'll push down the spring like so. Then I'll slot in the Kato coupler sideways. Okay, be careful of how you handle the knife. Don't want to cut yourself. And then I just turn it until it locks into place. Now, if the spring is, well, out of place during the fitting, all you need to do is to take up your hobby knife and tease it back into place. After that, it's just a simple act of fitting back the bogie, and it's done. And this is how the cars will look with the Kato couplers. And now for the fun part, replacing the Greenmax dummy coupler with the Tomix TN coupler for front cars. Now, a word of warning. While the Kato coupler is interchangeable with the Arnold coupler and fully reversible, this change is not, because there's going to be cutting and gluing involved, so any changes are basically permanent. I start by opening up the Santosha or the front car. Then I remove the bogie and I remove the front assembly, which is actually three parts: the chassis and, well, one sub assembly and the coupler, I guess. Alright, so this is sub assembly and the dummy coupler, and I also separate them. Now I fit the TN coupler to the sub assembly, and by right this would work fine if I just mount it on the car. But the problem is I still have to mount those front plates on. So to do that, I make guiding markers, okay, on both sides by twisting my hobby knife. I'll be using 3 drills. The first one will be the 0.5 mm to establish a pilot hole. Then I'll proceed on to the 0.9 mm to widen it, and finally ending off with 1.4 mm for the screws. Drilling 0.5 mm pilot holes, widening it with 0.9 mm drill bit, and finally finishing up with the 1.4 mm drill bit. Now I attach the sub-assembly to the chassis and drill one final time. I take care not to drill through because there's a copper plate. Just enough to, well, make a indentation. I detach the TN coupler again, and then using the two outermost holes as a guideline, I make a cut. I do the same for the other side. I take out two 1.4 mm by 2 mm screws, and I screw the TN coupler to the sub-assembly. And then the sub-assembly to the chassis. I ensure that there was a little bit of room left. I don't screw all the way in because I need to attach it twice. Okay, this front part is excess which I need to trim off, or the front plates won't fit. This is what the final product looks like. The TN coupler is now doubly secure because not only is it screwed into the sub-assembly, but it's also screwed onto the chassis itself. And if I ever want to remove it, I just have to unscrew it and take it out. But that's not going to happen. Now I cut off the parts I need from the Greenmax dummy coupler. Okay, I'll cut along this line. It's better to cut off a little bit more and then trim it down to size. After that, I just simply match it to the two pins over there, like so. And I apply the Tamiya thin cement. The capillary action will ensure that the glue gets to all the nooks and crannies. Once I glued both sides, now all I need to do is to put back the bogie, put back the body shell, and it's done. Tomix TN front coupler. Test connection of two Santoshas. Okay, this is how it looks on turns. This is how it looks from side. I place the dencha in Otaoya Machi, and this is a close-up look of how it looks up with its new couplers. Okay, what I have is actually a 4+2 Dencha car set. I was very blessed, managed to pick all of them up during sales, so had very good prices on them. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, mata ne!